Hello and welcome to Tuesday evening's Yoga with Phil. Your practice is at your own risk, so pay attention to how you feel today. Be aware of what's going on in your body as you practice yoga, feeling free to miss anything out or take the lighter options where that's right for you. We're going to start lying down, so when you're ready, bring yourself to lying down on your mat, finding your comfortable posture, which could well be Shavasana, feet out to the corners of the mat, hands away from your body, your palms turned up. But if as you stretch out, you've got a bit of discomfort in your lower back, then you could bend your knees, making any other adjustments that allow you to be comfortable. So as you lie there, first of all, there's no need to try and do anything, just let your body rest. And allow yourself to let go of the day so far. Letting go of any thoughts of what comes after the class, so that you're really ready in your mind to be attentive to your body during the postures and being ready to be in the present moment. So we're going to do a little bit of breathing to begin. To prepare, just bring one hand onto your abdomen, so it's just resting over your navel, and then take your other hand just around the bottom of your rib cage, so your hands just curling around your rib cage so you can feel what's going on in your ribs as you breathe in a moment. And with your hands in position, continue to take normal breaths, observing those breaths and just observing what movement you're feeling in your hands as you take those breaths. Trying not to change your breath, although as soon as you observe it you may well inevitably make some changes to it, but just try and let it be and noticing where the breath moves within the body. We're going to move to abdominal breathing. So starting to send the breath down into your abdomen, so that as you inhale your abdomen lifts, as you exhale your abdomen falls. So now you're trying to make sure that there's no movement in the hand that's around your rib cage. As much movement as possible should be in the hand that's on your abdomen. Feeling the rise, feeling the fall. Maybe lengthening the breath so that as you come to the end of the breath, you maybe just take a little bit more air in, lifting your abdomen, your navel a little more, but not to a point of straining. So this is only just if there's a bit more capacity, then bring a bit more air in. When you come to the end of your exhale, you could draw your navel in a little to squeeze an extra bit of air out. Again, not to the point of strain. This is just a gentle squeeze. This good deep breath is drawing plenty of air in on the exhale, but also as you exhale and have that extra squeeze out, you're expelling all the stale air from your lungs, meaning that when you bring that big breath in, you're bringing fresh, full air, bringing energy and life into your body. So this is abdominal breathing. We're going to make a switch now to breathing in the chest. So next time you breathe in, if you can, hold your abdomen still and draw the air now up into your chest. As you do that, you'll feel your chest lift a little. You'll feel maybe your ribs broaden and widen under the hand that's curled around your rib cage. So the hand on your abdomen is as still as you can make it. The hand on your chest making that fill out as your chest fills. And again, without strain, drawing as much air into your chest as you can, expelling as much air out of your chest as you can. Noticing how this breath works. Are you bringing in more or less air, breathing into the chest? Does this feel more calming? Does this feel less calming as a way to breathe? And then for the next few breaths, to really prove that you are the master of your breathing, choosing exactly where your breath goes, I'd like you to alternate. So on one inhale, make it a big abdominal inhale, drawing air into the abdomen with the hand on your chest still. And after you've inhaled and exhaled into the abdomen, make your next one into the chest. So your arm on your abdomen still, the arm on your chest is feeling that expansion in the chest. And then finally, bringing it all together, bringing the maximum amount of air into your body. So as you next inhale, first of all, start filling up the abdomen, sending the air down there first. But before you fill the abdomen completely, start to also then draw air upwards into your chest so that you're then filling out the chest. Breathing in to a point where you feel like you've got as much air in as you can, but without straining, and then exhaling, just letting it all drain out. So exhaling for the chest, exhaling the abdomen, and then just take a few of those full breaths, abdominal and chest breathing, filling up as much as you can without straining on the inhale, emptying out as much as you can without straining on the exhale. Long, slow, deep, full breaths. And taking your hands down by your side, palms turned up. Taking 2 or 3 regular breaths, not trying to do anything in particular. Bringing your feet together, raising your hands up above your head, stretching your toes away, stretching your arms a bit away behind you, stretching out long. Toes pressing forward a little more, hands reaching back a little more. And release that stretch. Bend your knees, bring your feet in towards you, bring your arms over by your side, and come up to sitting, ready for 3 rounds of sun salutations. So coming up slowly, we've just taken a bit of a deep relaxation there with our breath. Once you're standing, come to the front of your mat. Feet together. Pressing your feet down, lifting the crown of your head up. Shoulders relaxing, chest lifting. 2 breaths before we begin our first round. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, palms together at the center of your chest, lifting your elbows, relaxing your shoulders. Reaching your arms up, looking between your hands, stretching your arms higher, then reaching your arms back, tilting your rib cage to the ceiling. Your abdomen's pressing forwards from your hips, stretching forward and all the way down. Let your arms stick out the back, bending your knees as much as you need. So your fingertips just touch the mat. You might find you can straighten them a little bit, but not so much that your fingers lift. Shoulders, neck muscles relax, head hangs heavy. Right leg all the way back. Lower your knee, top of your foot flat on the ground. Lift your gaze. Just being aware of your right hip crease, seeing if you can relax that forward and down a little more. Tucking your right toes under, sending your left foot back into the plank. So ensure your hips are level. Then press the ground away a little bit with your hands. Stretch your heels away behind you. Make sure your knees are lifted and that you've got a little bit of core switched on, so navel to spine. When this comes truly into form, you feel like you could hold it for ages. Lowering your knees, then bringing your chest down to the ground. Maybe keep a little lift in your hips, touching your chin, or if you can reach your forehead to the ground. Press your upper body forward, lifting your face and lifting your chest. Take your shoulders up and back, bring your elbows in close, looking directly forwards. Tuck your toes under, lifting your hips. You could take them back towards your heels first if you want, straightening your legs so that your hips extend up towards the ceiling, hands pressed down into the ground, heels pressed down into the ground. Look between your hands. You're going to bring your right foot through. Find to bring your knees down and help it through with your right hand. Let your gaze lift as your hips relax. Again, now pressing your right hip crease down towards the mat. Springing your left foot through. Finding your relaxed forward fold, fingertips just touching the ground, neck muscles relaxing. Then lead up with your arms. Your arms reach up first. They bring you up, looking between your hands, taking your armpits back. And hands come down. Inhale. Exhale, palms pressed together. Lifting your elbows, taking your elbows back towards your shoulders. Reaching your arms up, looking between them, tilting your rib cage to the ceiling. From your hips stretching forward and down, fingertips touching the mat, crown of your head pointing to the ground. Left leg all the way back, lowering your knee, lifting your gaze. Left toes tuck, right leg back, coming into plank, pressing the ground away, pressing your heels away behind you, stretching the crown of your head forward to the wall that's in front of you, shoulder blades relax down your back. If you're feeling strong, you can lower down by taking your elbows back, or take your knees, then chest down to the ground. Pressing forward, lift your face and lift your chest, shoulder blades easing back, elbows easing back, chest coming forward. Tucking your toes, lifting your hips, coming to down face dog, hands pressed down, heels pressed down, hips lift. Pushing your hands away from you so they don't move against the mat, but as you push them away from you, your shoulder blades, your shoulders and your armpits will head back and down towards the mat. Tilting your tailbone a little up to the ceiling, stretching out your legs, sending your back of your thighs towards the wall behind you. Looking between your hands, reaching bringing your left foot through, taking your right knee down. Lifting your gaze, springing your right foot through to forward fold. Then raising up with your arms, reaching to the ceiling, looking between your hands, and hands come down. Inhale, exhale. So we'll take 2 more rounds, straight the way through, flowing with the breath. Hands relaxing, crown of your head lifting. Inhale, exhale, palms firmly pressed together. Inhaling, reaching and stretching up and back. Exhale, forward and all the way down, fingertips in line with your toes. Inhale, right leg back, knee down, lift your gaze. Hold your breath, left foot back, plank, pressing the ground away. Exhaling to lower, knees then chest, or take your elbows back in one line. Inhale, face and chest lifts, shoulder blades ease back. Exhale, toes tuck, hips lift on high, heels press down in down face dog. Inhale, right foot comes through, left knee down, hips relaxing, gaze lifting. Exhale, left foot through, forward fold. Everything in the upper body relaxing down. Inhale, reach and stretch up. Let your arms lift you. Look between your hands. Exhale, hands down. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Shoulders relaxing. Inhale, reach and stretch up. Exhale, forward and down, arcing your hands down to the ground. Inhale, left leg all the way back. Knee down, lift your gaze. Hold your breath. Right foot back. Heels pushing away behind you in your plank, shoulder blades easing down. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, face and chest lifts, lifting your shoulders. Exhale, toes tuck, hips lift to the ceiling. Push your hands forward, take your chest back. Inhale, left foot through, right knee down. Exhale, right foot through. Really relaxing into this forward fold. Inhale, reach and stretch up. Exhale, hands down. Final round. Inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, forward and all the way down. Neck muscles relax. Inhale, right leg back, knee down, hips relax. Hold your breath, left foot back. Coming into plank for a moment. Exhale to lower. Inhale, face and chest lifts. Exhale, toes tuck. Hips lift you up to down face dog. Chest easing to your knees. Inhale, right foot through, left knee down. Exhale, left foot through, forward fold. Inhaling, reach and stretch your hands up and back. Exhale, hands down. Final side, inhale. Exhale, pushing your palms together. Inhale, reaching as tall as you can, stretching your arms back. Exhale, reaching forward and reaching down. Knees bent as much as needed. Inhale, left leg back, knee down, lift your gaze. Hold your breath, right foot back. Coming into plank, exhaling to lower. Inhale, press forward, lifting face, lifting chest to cobra. Exhale, toes tuck, hips lift on high, hands press forward, heels press down. Inhale, left foot through, right knee down. Exhale, right foot through. Final forward fold, really relaxing down to the ground. Inhale, reach and stretch up, looking between your hands. Exhale, hands down. Taking your feet apart, turning your palms to face forward. 2 cooling breaths as always, which are much needed tonight. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Wonderful. We're going to take a lying down twist, which will then develop into a hamstring stretch. So you might like to have a belt for when we take the stretch of the straight leg from the lying down twist. Come to a good resting position and allow yourself a few breaths. keeping your awareness on your breathing, letting it return to its resting rate. Setting up for Supta Matsyendrasana, lying down, reclining twist. Bending your knees, bringing your feet in towards you. Picking up your right foot, placing your right ankle on your left knee. Taking your arms out at shoulder height, pressing your hands away, pressing your arms and shoulders down. Picking up your hips, moving them 2 or 3 inches to the right. On your next exhale, slowly take your legs over to the left hand side. Aiming, if you can, to land the sole of your right foot onto the ground, the outer edge of your left leg. If your legs don't go quite as far as that down to the ground, then you can just press your legs down towards the bottom of your mat a little. And as your legs go down, that will allow your foot to come into contact with the ground. So just pressing both your feet down towards the bottom of your mat. From there, taking your left hand onto your right knee. With all your attention on your right shoulder blade, so your right shoulder blade pressing to the ground, and then using your left hand, just easing your right knee down towards the ground a little more. Martin, you could just maybe take your left foot, down towards the bottom of your mat a little, taking both legs down that way, and then you might come to a point where your foot can land down. Perfect. And then use your hand on your knee. So just taking a few breaths there, where on the inhale, you press your right arm and shoulder blade into the ground, and as you exhale, you ease your knee a little closer to the mat. The ultimate aim in this posture would be, potentially, to have your knee touching the ground and your shoulder blade touching the ground. And that comes as the spine becomes more mobile through this and the other twists that we do. So transitioning to a hamstring stretch, just turning your head to look to the left, straightening out your top leg, so stretching it out away from you. And then having a reach with your hand to see where you can grab. If you can get a hold below your knee, so it's between your knee and your ankle, then take a hold. If though you're up above your knee, you might want to loop a belt around your foot and hold the belt loop in your left hand to then help you to then straighten that leg, getting that stretch in your hamstring. So once you're there with your right arm stretching out along the ground, your left arm holding the belt or holding the leg, and then easing that straight leg up to the wall that's above your head. Keeping your right shoulder blade in contact with the ground, your foot comes as low to the ground as your shoulder blade allows. Just rolling your right hip away from you, so you're rolling the top of the outer edge of your right thigh down away from you. And then just using your next 2 out breaths as you breathe out, see if you can lift that foot higher. Maybe pressing your right hand away from you, pressing your right heel away from you. Then release, let go of the leg or release the belt. Bend your right knee, bringing your knees towards each other. Then lift both legs up towards the center. Have a reset, so reset your arms at shoulder height, reset your hips back to the center. Make sure, you've got enough room to go the other way. Then picking up your left foot, crossing your left ankle above on your right knee. Hips go 2 or 3 inches to the left. And with your arms and shoulders pressing down into the ground, on an exhale, slowly take both legs over to the right hand side. We take it slowly just to give all the vertebrae in your spine a chance to twist. And then once you've got as far as you can, if you need to take your legs down towards the bottom of your mat in order to bring your foot and outer edge of your right leg to the ground, then do. From there, then taking your right hand onto your left knee and then guiding your knee down towards the ground. So you'll be feeling here the stretch down the outer edge of your left leg, a bit of an ITB stretch for those who know their ITB. Keeping your left shoulder blade pressing down. Using your breath as you inhale, press your shoulder blade down. As you exhale, ease your knee a little closer to the ground. Taking one more breath. Turning your head to the right, straightening your top leg. Taking a hold, you might be in a different hold on this leg to the other leg. Again, if you're above your knee, I would take a belt around that foot, holding the belt with your right hand. If you've got a grip on your leg, hold as close to your ankle as you can reach and start to ease that leg up towards the wall above your head. Foot as low to the ground as your shoulder blade allows. Rolling your left hip away from you, so down towards the bottom of your mat. So you're just turning your thigh outwards, pressing your left hand away, pressing your left heel away. Using your next two out breaths as the chance to bring your leg closer to the wall above your head. Then release the stretching, release that leg, loosen the belt, bend your left knee, knees come towards each other, then up to towards the ceiling. Bringing your knees up onto your chest and taking a rock side to side. Landing your feet down. Stretching your legs out, taking your arms above your head, interlacing your fingers if that's comfortable, pointing your palms away from you, toes press forward, arms stretch back. A good stretch out long. Feeling the stretch down your arms, at your armpits, over your abdomen, down your shins, stretching out and releasing. Bringing your hands by your side and coming up to sitting. And from sitting onto hands and knees to do some work on our core. So come to hands and knees with your wrists under your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And then once you're there, let your abdomen relax, let your lower back relax. So you're letting it all hang out. And as you do that, you're feeling the opposite of what we want to do in a moment when we take our work for our core. So as we're here now, this is nice and relaxed and wonderful, but we want to have the core strong. So draw your navel up towards your spine in preparation. You'll feel your back start to level out. So if there was a tray of drinks on your back, they would be quite stable on your flat back. And then keeping that strength in the core, lift your right hand and stretch it forward, and lift your left leg and stretch it out behind you. Stretching your hand away from you a little more, stretching your heel back away from you a little more. And then you should feel, it's almost as if the hand's pulling at your core, the heel's pulling at your core in the other direction. So you're feeling the stretch all the way to your core. As you next exhale, then start to bring your elbow underneath you, bring your knee underneath you, let your back arch up, tuck your head under, tuck your tailbone under, so your elbow makes contact with your knee. And then on the next inhale, stretching that out, keeping your navel drawing up towards your spine so that your core stays strong throughout. And then take 5 more of those with your breath, slow and steady. Exhale as you come under to tuck. Inhale as you stretch long. When you stretch out long, press your hand forward, press your heel back. When you're tucked under, arch your back up, tucking everything under tight. Keeping your navel drawing towards your spine. I reckon that's about it. Maybe one more. And then lower your hand and lower your knee. This is a little bit, this is a wrist loader, which is a good thing as long as your wrist is up for it. If you did find your wrist isn't happy with this, then you could come onto elbows. So reassert your core, navel to spine, leveling out your back. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, stretching your left hand forward and your right leg back. Stretching forward and back a little more so you feel the pull on your core. Then as you next exhale, elbow and knee come to meet underneath you. Your back arches up, head tucks under, tailbone tucks under. And as you inhale, stretching that out all the way. Keeping that going with your breath. Stretching out as long as you can when you're stretching out long. Curling up as tight as you can when you're bringing knee to elbow. Taking one more. And then landing your hand down, landing your knee down. And sitting back onto your heels, bringing your forehead to the ground. Maybe put in something, if your hips are a long way from your heels and if you could take them a little closer, but that means your head lifts, then you can maybe place something underneath your forehead, either a fist or a block. Just taking a few breaths there, opening your knees, so that you can breathe down into your abdomen and your abdomen's got somewhere to go between your knees as you take those abdominal breaths. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, press yourself back up and come to lying down, ready for shoulder stand. So everybody's a shoulder stand veteran here live. So coming up in the way that you found best, before you go up, do just make sure your elbows are in close. Taking bent knees or straight legs. While you go into shoulder stand, I'll just explain to anybody watching the video, if you have high blood pressure or you don't want to take a shoulder stand, then you could take a block and lift your legs. If you do that and had a belt or something, it doesn't have to be a yoga belt, but anything that lets you take hold of your legs, you could then hold your legs in place with a belt and then hold there with your legs lifted. If you're coming into shoulder stand, arms in close. When you're ready, lifting your legs followed by your hips and then bringing your hands onto your lower back, onto your buttocks. And then once you're in your shoulder stand, then maybe making a little adjustment to make it your comfortable shoulder stand. Now the adjustment that I personally, this is very personal to me, the adjustment I make would be to lift my legs a little, taking my knees away from my face and just dropping my back down into my hands a little, so my top of my buttocks come into my hands. That's the adjustment I like to make, but the adjustment that you might like to make might be to let your knees come lower towards your face, feeding your back up through your hands. And a part of what this adjustment does is balance the weight between what goes down your hands to your elbows and what's going down your upper back to your shoulders directly. So keeping your upper arms pressing down into the ground so that you keep strength, keeping your shoulders and upper arms pushing down. And then from here, if you want to transition to the pose of tranquility, you could do that by maybe taking your hips back a little, lowering your knees to your face, and then taking your hands one at a time down to the ground, palms resting on the mat. If that feels comfortable and secure, you could bring one hand around and place it on a shin. And if that feels secure, you could bring the other one round. If that doesn't feel stable, then after you've brought one onto your shin, take that back and bring the other one and swap from hand to hand to help you get the stability. If you're in the pose of tranquility, then find the tranquility. So things that you might like to think about is, one is just making sure you've got as much of your upper back on the ground as you can. You don't want to be in a place where your upper back is lifted off and all the weight is on your neck. Then you want to think about having your arms completely straight so that your legs are just resting. You're not lifting your legs at all. Their weight is just naturally resting on the strong structure created by your arms. And if you're in the pose of tranquility, when you're ready, take one hand round, place it on your back, followed by the other. So coming back into your shoulder stand. Reset your shoulder stand so that you come back to the balance. So practicing finding the balance in your shoulder stand. And then ready to descend, taking your legs back and down a touch, takes the weight off your hands. Hands can come down onto the mat, palms turn down. There now your brakes as you slowly drape your spine back down onto the mat. Once your hips have landed, you can let your legs come down. And once your heels have landed, let your feet relax apart, turning your palms to face up. Taking a few good deep breaths there. Setting up for Setu Bandha bridge pose. Bend your knees, bringing your feet in towards you. Feet hip distance apart. Reaching your hands down, seeing if you can graze the middle of your heel with your middle finger. Turning your toes towards each other slightly so you become a little bit pigeon-toed. Tilting your tailbone up to the ceiling so your lower back digs into the ground, and then lifting your hips so your lower back, followed by your middle back, followed by your upper back starts to lift off. Pressing into your upper arms to peel more of your upper back away from the ground. Once you're lifted, if it's comfortable, you could interlace your hands underneath you, pressing your arms down into the mat. Otherwise, keep your palms flat on the ground. Pressing into your feet, pressing into your upper arms, seeing if you've got any more lift. And then you can hold here. If you want to make this a little stronger, take your weight over into your left foot. Pressing your arms down, pressing that left foot down. So you can then lift your right foot, bringing your right knee in, up and in towards your chest. And then maybe extending that leg out, straightening the legs, pointing your toes up to the ceiling. Bending your right knee, bringing your chest back in, and landing your right foot back down onto the mat. Having a lift of everything before we do the other side. Weight over into your right foot, arms pressing down, upper arms especially, lifting your left knee up and in towards you, and then straightening that leg, pointing your toes to the ceiling. Keeping your hips lifted. This is a nice workout for the glutes, pressing your arms down, toes lifting to the ceiling, bending your left knee, knee comes into your chest, taking your foot back down to the ground. A final lift, lifting your hips, lifting your upper back, Arms pressing down, feet pressing down. Then if your arms are interlaced underneath you, moving them out to the side and slowly, slowly draping your spine back down, sending your hips towards your heels. When you've touched down, bring your knees up onto your chest, arms hug around your knees, having a rock side to side. Bringing your rock to a halt in the centre and bringing your head up to your knees, drawing your knees down to your chest. Release, landing your head down, followed by your feet, and bringing yourself up to sitting. Ready to release our necks, as we always do. Turning your head over to the right, keeping your chin level. And back to the centre and over left. Centre and right, as far right as you're comfortable to go. Centre and as far left as your neck is comfortable to go. Bringing it back to the centre. From there, stretching your legs out. So we're going to take Baddha Konasana, which is cobbler's pose. It's a seated posture. So if you tend to like a block to sit on when you're doing a seated posture, then do take a block. Yeah, make sure that's comfortable, Barry, because you're sitting on a brick there, aren't you? So if it's not comfortable, then you choose. Then reach down and find your right foot. Bring your right foot in as close as you can. Then with that one in close, go and get the other one, bringing that one in so the soles of your feet come together. And with the soles of your feet together, you can then take a hold of your feet. So cobbler's pose, because it's that idea of someone working on something right here. And that's what we're doing. So take a good firm grip of your feet. Pull gently on your feet so that you can then draw your chest forward, taking your shoulders back and down. So a good strong posture. And then warming up the hips with a little bit of butterfly. So butterflying your knees. Starting to see if you can take your knees a little bit further, particularly a little bit further to the ground. Still pulling on your feet so that your chest's lifting, taking your shoulders back so that you stay strong. And then slowing the butterflying down. So we're going to turn this into a forward fold. Before we do that, what you might just want to do is lift your right buttock and walk it back a little bit. And then take your weight over onto the other buttock and just take the other buttock back a little. So we're just sort of coming more onto the front of our sitting bones. Take a lift once more so that you're lifting your chest. So you're lifting your chest forward. And then just start to pull on your feet. Now taking your chest forward and down. Taking your elbows out to the side. They may come into the crease between your upper and lower leg, and you can then use your elbows to press them down, getting that stretch in your hips. This is a hip stretch. And then you can stay here. If you want to take this stronger, then you could release your legs, your feet, and stretch your arms forward, pressing your knees down, reaching forward, and then hold there, keeping your breath good and steady, reaching forward a little more, pressing your knees down a little more, feeling every breath. And then releasing your hands down. Having a final draw back on your feet, a lift of your chest. and then release your feet. Take your hands by your side, lifting your knees, straightening your legs out. Try not to pull a face, Marcus. And then from there, we'll take this into a twist. So if you're sitting on a block, stay sitting on your block. Bringing your left foot in, drawing it in as close as you can, crossing it over the right foot. That was the bit I forgot to mention. Taking a hold of the knee with both hands, drawing your knee towards you, lifting your chest up and bringing it a little bit towards that knee. Let me just lift my lens a little. Taking your left hand behind you, pressing fingertips into the ground, keeping your spine as straight as you can. Taking your right arm out to the right, and then bringing it back so you can wrap that arm around your leg, drawing your leg across as you then start to take your chest around to the left. So taking your chest around, when your chest has gone around as far as it will go easily, take your gaze over your left shoulder with your chin level. Then seeing if you can take your left shoulder back a little more, your left shoulder blade as well. So you're trying to take your left shoulder and shoulder blade into the space that's behind them. Then using your next few breaths, inhaling, pressing into your back hand so you're straightening up, and exhaling, seeing if you can just ease round a little more. Drawing your knee in close and taking it over to the right just a touch, and that will help you to stretch out your piriformis, which is what you're feeling in your left glute. Taking one more breath there. Then on your next exhale, just release and relax and bring yourself back to face the front. Stretch your legs out, have a mid shake, and then bring your right foot across your left leg. Draw the foot in close. Take your hands on the knee, draw your knee in, draw your chest forward. Keep the height as you then take your right hand behind you, fingertips pressing into the ground. Left arm all the way out to the left, and then bring it back in so it gets a good hug and a grip around your right knee. Drawing it in close, drawing it across over to the left a little. Then when you're ready, on an exhale, start taking your chest around to the right. When you've gone as far as you can, take your gaze over your right shoulder. Taking your right shoulder back into the space that's behind it. Then using your next few breaths. Inhale, straighten up by pressing into the back hand. Exhale, ease yourself round. Drawing your knee firmly in and across. Taking one more breath there. As you next exhale, just relax everything and bring yourself back to face the front. Straighten your legs out, take a shake, and come to standing. So we've got a couple of standing postures today. So if you come on your mat and come sideways on your mat, if you're turning sideways, if you all face, you can't see me, let me just lift that up. If you all face that way, if you're sideways on, otherwise it's fine for you to be sideways on facing me. So take your legs reasonably wide. You don't have to take it to your absolute maximum. just reasonably wide is perfect. Make sure you've got both your feet on your mat, hands on hips, and then turning your left foot in. No, your right foot in, right foot in, right foot in. And turning your other foot out. Yeah, that's, so, oh, yes, so turn your right foot in and your other foot out. So basically you're pointing towards me if your mat is pointing towards me. Right, then from here, lift your right arm up towards the ceiling and stretch your arm up. We're taking Trikonasana. So right arm stretches up, right foot presses down. Taking your left hand onto your left thigh. And then keep reaching up strongly as you then start to tilt over to the left. Keeping your right shoulder easing back rather than coming forward. Coming down as far as you can and then starting to press your right fingertips to the left. That might let you drift down a touch more. Then take 2 breaths. On the inhale, press your fingertips out to the side. As you exhale, relax down a little more. As you next inhale, make it a big one and bring yourself back up. Exhale, lowering your hand. Hands on hips. Just take a breath there. Keep your feet where they are. And bring your hips around to the left. So bring your hips as around to the left as you can. Have both feet pressing firmly into the ground. Taking your hands behind you, interlacing your hands. Taking your shoulders back and lifting your chest. If you find it's uncomfortable to have your hands interlaced, then they can be separate. They don't need to be interlaced. With that lift of your chest, as you next exhale, start to hinge forward from your hips. So you're coming down over your left leg. Once you come down as far as you easily can, making sure that you're putting even pressure down both legs. If that's uncomfortable for your left knee, then put a little bend in that knee. And then lift your arms up. And as your arms lift, see if you can relax your head down, see if you can relax your chest down. Using your next 2 or 3 breaths. As you inhale, see if your arms can lift higher. And as you exhale, relax down a little more over that leg. Taking as much knee bend as you need in that right leg. Keeping the back foot pressing down. 1 more breath. Then take a big inhale, lowering your hands and lifting your head as you do so. Turning your feet to face forward, bringing your hands onto your hips. And we'll just take a couple of breaths before we do the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Turn your left foot in and your right foot out. Yeah, so if you're facing this way, you might just want to turn around so that you're still facing the your camera. Then bringing your hips back around, so you want them towards the long edge of your mat for Trikonasana first. Lifting your left hand up towards the ceiling, stretching tall as you can. Pressing your left foot firmly down. Then bringing your right hand onto your right thigh. Keep that up reach going as you start to tilt over to the right. Hand drifts down your leg. Let it develop slowly. Keep your left shoulder easing back rather than coming forward. When you've gone as far as you can, start to press your fingertips towards the wall at your left. Taking a couple of breaths. On the inhale, press your fingertips leftwards. On the exhale, relax to the left. On your next inhale, bring yourself back up. Lowering your left hand, hands on hips. Take a breath there. If you feel you need to do anything, then please do it. Then use your hands, wind your hips around to the right. Nice even weight coming down both legs. If you feel your legs are a bit further apart, mine were a bit far apart then, so I just drew that you could bring your front foot forward a little. With your chest lifting, take your arms behind you, interlacing if that's comfortable. Just let them relax at first. Shoulders back, chest lifts, leading forward with your chest, hinging from your hips. Keep your front foot as straight as you can, but do bend it if you need to. If it's uncomfortable, if you hyperextend, take a bend. When you come as far as you can start to lift your hands up to the ceiling. Letting your head relax, letting your chest relax down. Neck muscles relax, the crown of your head's pointing down towards the ceiling. Using your next few breaths. As you inhale, lift your arms. As you exhale, relax your upper body, folding over your front leg. Keeping both feet pressing down into the ground. One more breath. Then next inhale, making it a big one as you lower your arms and lift your head. Turning your feet face forward, hands on hips, heel toeing your feet together. And taking a shake of your legs. Wonderful. So we're going to finish with a balance. So we're going to take a balance sequence. So bring your feet hip distance apart and let your hands relax by your side. Do feel free to stand near something if you want something to have the potential of support. Also, you may want to come off your mat so your feet are in firmer contact with a harder surface. Then when you're ready, slowly lift your right knee, lifting your foot off the ground, bringing your hands around that knee and drawing it in towards your chest. Release your left hand, take your left hand out to the side. Stretch your left hand leftwards as you slowly take your right knee rightwards. So stretching your fingers to the left, your knee out to the right. Slowly bring your knee back. When it's returned, release, take your right hand out to the right, stretching your arms wide, taking them back. Slowly starting to hinge forward at your hips, taking your right leg underneath you. As soon as it's gone underneath, you could then stretch it up behind you. So lifting that leg as high as your balance allows, keeping your arms stretching wide, pressing your right heel back. If you're coming towards vertical there, you might just want to let your right hip lower down a little, so you're keeping your hips in good alignment. Nice and slowly then starting to come back up. As you come back up, bending your right knee so you can lift your right knee back up towards your chest, keeping your arms lifted, and next exhale, everything comes back down. Wonderful. That's a fine balances today. Have a shake of that left leg because we've been on it for a little while. Coming back then to standing, feet hip distance apart, hands relaxing by your side. Just take a breath there, shoulders relax. Picking up your left foot, left knees coming in towards your chest. Arms come around to draw it in closer. Releasing your right arm out to the side, stretching it wide, slowly taking your knee out to the left. So opening as much as you can. Slowly bringing the knee back in. When it's delivered, left hand stretches left. Take your arms wide, taking your shoulders back a little, starting to hinge forward. Lead with your chest. Once your knee's gone underneath you, straighten your leg out behind you. Bring it as high as your balance allows, stretching your heel away, stretching your hands out to the side, leveling your hips if you're near to vertical, so that that will probably mean just lowering your left hip a little. Slowly starting to come back up, bending your left knee as you lift, bringing the knee up towards your chest. Wonderful. Next exhale, everything comes back down, shaking out the right leg, doing anything that you need to do before you come then to lying down for final relaxation. Coming into Shavasana. Feet out to the corners of the mat, hands away from the body, palms turned up. Oh no! Oh, that's my phone. Sorry about that, I'm not quite sure what happened there. Anyway, coming back to relaxing. So just bringing your attention back to your breath, taking 2 or 3 good full breaths. Filling the abdomen, filling the chest, no strain. Emptying out completely on the exhale. And then taking normal breaths, allowing yourself a minute or two to rest, relax fully, completely. Keeping your body still, slowly bring your awareness back. Take a wriggle of your fingers and your toes. Bring your legs together, take your arms overhead for a gentle stretch out. Hands stretch back, toes stretch forward. Release that stretch, bending your knees. Bring one knee then the other onto your chest. Bring your arms round to hug the knees in close, taking a rock side to side. Bringing your rocking to a halt, landing your feet down, landing your head back down, and from there maybe coming to the right hand side for a moment or two and bringing yourself slowly up to sitting. Thank you for joining me. Wonderful to see you. Namaste.